I have to log into GitLab. Give me 1 minute.
Sure, we're good to go whenever you are.
I'm a human. Let me in. All right, so I want to go to a project of mine.
Debugging that. Yeah, this one already. We've got weird pipeline on one of our community forks that's failing. And it's not even, I don't think the pipeline should even be running, which is the weirdest thing, but I think that's the problem, that the YAML, I think, is getting evaluated. And I think there's some weird rules in there where like one job requires another, but the job that it requires is configured to only run on canonical or something like that. So there's kind of a broken dependency.
All right, I don't know what key I pressed, but I'm not used to switching. The control key's in the wrong area.
Yeah, it's funny. I've got a feeling my MacBook has a US keyboard rather than a British, UK, whatever you want to call it. So I then, when I bought my external keyboard, I had to make sure that I bought a US one so that it's this corner, isn't it? Like, so that the keys match identically the keys on the laptop keyboard. Otherwise, I just can't switch where like one's got a function key in the corner and one hasn't. That just, my brain just can't comprehend that.
Yeah, the keyboard layout's just weird, so not used to that yet. So, um, so what are you taking a look at there?
So we've got so there's an MR and there's a job that only runs in canonical, and Mark was sort of saying, oh, maybe we can solve this by using the community fork. But then he said, oh, but the community fork's not looking healthy at the moment because all the pipelines are failing with an error. No information here that's very helpful. But then I just found that if you drill down into the actual pipeline itself, we have got a helpful error. And it looks to me like what's probably happening is that we've got a job that is trying to run on canonical that requires or depends on jobs that aren't configured to run on canonical. So I was just going to try and figure out, but then I understand why we split things up. You know, how you like break classes up in programming, etc. And people like often do it with GitLab CI to stop it getting out of hand. But then it means that you've got to be like, okay, so this CI file includes this one, and these templates. So I now need to find out. I'm guessing it's probably this.
My favorite feature about a lot of IDEs is you can right click and it says go to definition. I wish that could go into GitLab CI.
Yeah, yeah. See if the pipeline editor, maybe if I do the full configuration. Oh, it can't even load it. That's good. Um,
Well,
case.
why did it say the CI was invalid?
So it's because of jobs that don't exist, or it's a job that depends on that saying this job requires this job, but this job doesn't exist. So there must be a rule that's preventing this job being created, but that same rule doesn't exist on this job. Just trying to find out where that job's coming from. Or packages. So, yeah, it's the idea. Yeah. So in here, if we then screenshot. So when manual, when always. So screenshot collector always tries to run, but it requires UI visual. UI visual has rules on it. I think we probably just need to like do the rules there. Or I think there might be another weird sort of hacky way that I've seen in the past. I wish I remember what it was. Like not setting it allowed to fail, but some way that you can say if the required job doesn't exist, just carry on. I don't know. Anyway, do you want to pivot? Have you got you had something you wanted to look at?
Yes, I do, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah.
this one will be a little bit hard because I'm not. So my work laptop had. Oh, hold on. I have to figure out what this is doing. I have to allow it to record my screen.
Yeah, first time you want to share, you have to jump through some hoops. You might even have to close Zoom and go back on.
Oh, I hope not. All right, here. I know how to do this.
Point your webcam at your screen.
Stop that. All right, so I'm just going to join on the computer I have the issue with so
Okay.
that you can produce it. So it has to do with the CI screens, the CI variables. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So one of the issues that I run into is when you edit a CI variable and then you hit the, you know how you have the little edit button again where you have the pencil or whatever? If you click the pencil on a separate one with the tab already open, it doesn't seem to change ever to the new one.
Oh, I think I see what you're saying. So you're editing a variable in the CI drawer or whatever you want to call it, the drawer, the panel on the side. You then try and edit another one while that panel's still open and it doesn't update.
Correct. I would expect it to automatically
Oh,
close.
so for me it does. Unless I'm looking at something slightly different, but I'll wait until you share your screen.
Um, I just have to type this really long URL in for Zoom. 9505 9144 L WC. All right, plan 2. Copy URL shortener. Okay, that URL shortener doesn't work.
This meeting is.
I muted the other computer. You can still hear me though, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I know I'm just multiplying. All right, so let me go to one that, let me just create one that doesn't have groups. Group. All right. So let me just do one more thing. All right, so I go into my CI settings. Let me share my screen. Inspect. Let me know when you can see this, please. So you can see this, right?
Can indeed, yeah.
I make that bigger. So I expand my variables. I'm going to create a variable. Test, test, and I put that in the description, which is not good.
Beautiful. Yep.
Add my variable again. So that pops up correct. What I would expect. Test one. Add variable. Now I would expect if that pops up, you see how it didn't open that drawer?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So my question is where is this actual code stored?
Could you
In
just check quickly for me if you cancel, like, to close the drawer and then edit one of them? And then if you click edit on the other one, doesn't, okay. I think this has been fixed. Are you running either GDK or self-hosted that you're connected to here?
This is a self-hosted.
So I think this has been fixed between whatever version you've got there, and but we can also, if you're interested in sort of going through the process of seeing where this component lives and whatnot, we can do that as well.
Yeah, that would be great because I hate having to ask you all the time.
So let's see. One of these that hopefully it's not easier said than done, but we'll give it a try. So I'm gonna share. Play. There. So we're going to go into a project. Add a couple of new ones. So we're going to do just one. Last. Two. Do this. Green. That apparently until I can get to the edit button. I'm on. So this is empty at the moment because I've just created one. If I now click on test one, populate test one, test two. So it does look like it's fixed.
Okay.
Find what's going on. I would probably try and inspect. Squeeze back in a little bit. Squeeze back in a little bit, and I often use DevTools. Then we can use this thing to hover over and see what's the component that's being used here. Although this one's the CRUD component, which isn't overly helpful because I think it's reused by various bits and pieces, but we do have at least CI variables table. And hopefully we similar for the drawer if I open up test 2.
So that's the Vue.js dev tools that you have installed?
View dev tools, exactly. And I have a feeling you have to use an old version. Like, I'm not sure if the new version only supports like Vue.js 3 and it says like legacy on here. But
Yeah, because if I go to GitLab.com, it says Vue.js not detected.
yeah, so if you want to be able to use Vue dev tools on a production GitLab instance, I'm sure there's like a video somewhere or there's like a hack that you can do that basically makes Vue dev tools like realize that dev exists, but there's something different to do with when you're running Vue in like development mode versus sort of production mode. That means that by default it won't work. But on a GDK, so what I guess we want to do now is
So you got to, so from there, from the Vue Legacy app that you were showing, you were able to right click and find it how?
get rid of this thing now that I don't want. Yeah, so from the Vue dev tools, I was able to use this, I don't know, finder, locator, snooper, sniffer thing. That showed that this table was using the CRUD component, which is a bit generic. So I then kind of went up a level and I could see that this is the CI variable table. But now in here, I will look for the CI variable table and hopefully find roughly what's what. Hopefully we'll see that this is using the CRUD component, which it is. And for the actions, there's a button which toggles the hidden state. Yes, there's a button that toggles to add. So that must be the action buttons that live by these ones.
Okay.
So we don't want those. And then if we look, okay, there's then a table inside. And then inside those, we've got E, got the value, that would E value, then we've got environments and actions. So environment, action. So in actions, we've got a pencil button to edit, which is a set selected variable. Pretty much.
And that item.index is getting the particular row in that table then.
Correct. And that just emits to a parent component that takes care of kind of loading it in the drawer, etc. What I was hoping, I never quite know what does and doesn't cause, you know, the old git lens, I think it is, that can give us.
It looks like you have a bunch extension in error mode, it looks like. If you take a look on your sidebar, you see that little yellow icon?
Yeah, that's always deprecated extensions. Sure, sometimes I see something that says like, oh, I'm not going to load the Git history because it's so big. But Interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Very, very unhelpful. That's what I was hoping I could. I guess I can open this file. That didn't work. Wow. Oh, okay. So, open it in here. I have only changed for a couple of months. Do you know how old your self-hosted instance is?
17 point something.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty old then.
I have a whole nother issue with GitLab. You know how you can put the restrictions of what you can push or your like push protection rules. I have a whole nother issue with that, but that's a different conversation with other.
So this emits. So CI variable table. I'm not going to go too much further with the CI variable table is imported by CI variable settings. This should have something listens for set selected variable.
So it's saying if it's not the same one, you add the variable.
Too sure, to be honest. Again, let's see if
I guess, is there a good resource to learn Vue?
Possibly. I honestly just the way I learn anything and everything is just through using it. You know what I mean? I find like without just aimlessly reading. But actually, let's just try this because I found this quite good. So I am running an old version. Yeah. It. I'll give it a bit of a hint here. And I already have the CI variable for fail, but we'll try, yeah. I definitely found it good at like, I don't know, just figuring out different search terms and trying to find like issues and merge requests and areas in the code and just piece a few bits of the puzzle together.
So I have noticed Duo got better since I last used it, which is good. When it says agentic mode, what's the difference between agentic and using an MCP server? Because I think you guys added an MCP server recently, right?
Yeah, I'm not on top of that. I'm fairly sure we did just announce it, but let me try and remember and understand. what yeah, honestly, I don't know the answer to. I know that like what we're working on because I've been heavily involved in that, building like the catalog of agents and flows and all that kind of stuff, and that's all going to tie into this eventually. I think that like the ordinary chat is literally that, it's chat. It is capable of like getting some information from GitLab, etc. But this agentic one, like you can ask it to raise a merge request, you can ask it to post summary on an issue, you can ask it to, so it's definitely got more sort of interactive capabilities. Right, it's telling me that this is it, but is it? There are updates to form every time a new CI variable is selected to ensure the front end shows accurate data.
That's excellent.
18.0. Do you want me to drop a link to this anywhere, or are you not too stressed?
I think I can grab it.
Awesome.
Thank you, though.
Perfect. Well, it's nearly lunchtime for me. So, is there anything else you want to broadcast to the world before I stop streaming?
Nothing else.
Awesome. Let me stop that. Yeah.